Right with Ruben Amorim, and he's going to risk everything at Manchester United by giving Amorim till the end of the season. Laurie Whitwell has been talking on the Athletic podcast. We're going to get into that. Your other headlines this evening: meetings with Glasner, meetings with Joel and Sir Jim Ratcliffe. That kind of counter what Laurie Whitwell has been saying already. Other headlines as well: Bruno Fernandes, player of the month, and Benjamin Sesko's goal of the month. Tell you exactly where Manchester United are this month anyway, don't they? My God. And Senna Lamans has to get up to speed with everybody else at Manchester United before he gets his chance in the first team. So Senna Lamans has to become shit to get into Manchester United's first team. Sorry to swear at the top of the show, everybody, but you get where I'm going with that one. There are your headlines tonight. Get into the live chat. This is Forever United TV. I'm Adam. Welcome along to the show, everybody. Lots and lots of stories floating around this afternoon. Yet again, what is true, what is not, we'll decipher all of them and get your opinions on everything. We're going to get straight in with this talk from Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic. He's been talking on the Talk of the Devils podcast with The Athletic with Andy Mitten. Some words from Andy Mitten in this as well regarding that Senna Lamans piece I just said then. We'll get into that also. Welcome along. Get your comments in, people. If you are catching up later on, again, thank you for joining us. And get your comments in, everyone. I think this is words. I'm going to give my opinion straight away on this Laurie Whitwell piece and Manchester United holding on to Ruben Amorim for as long as he can, giving him the full season. Now, Laurie Whitwell has said he's spoken to as many people as he possibly can about the situation with Ruben Amorim and Manchester United. Everybody thinks that the writing is on the wall. In fact, earlier on today, Samuel Luckhurst was saying us veteran journalists who have been around Manchester United for so long kind of get the feeling when something is happening, in particular when a manager is going to be sacked. They're used to it, and everything that is happening right now, everything tells you that Ruben Amorim is heading down that same road. Laurie Whitwell, on the other hand, from The Athletic, has come out and said that everyone that he's spoken to Manchester United, and the word is that Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to give Ruben Amorim every single chance possible to be a success at Manchester United. We've even had Ben Jacobs coming out today tweeting about Manchester United players being on board and feel like they can still turn this around. Manchester United players feel like they can turn this around with Ruben Amorim. Why have you been playing shit before? Like, what's the difference from before to now? The league's got harder, and you were crap last season. You've been crap so far this season. So what makes you think we're going to believe you when you say, word coming out from the club that these players feel like they can turn it around with Ruben Amorim? Why weren't you doing it before then? Look, Laurie Whitwell still feels in his piece and what he's been getting from United, not his opinion, obviously he's only reporting this, and that's what he said. He's gauging everyone in and around the situation, the members, staff, sources at United. They all feel like Sir Jim Ratcliffe actually is going to give Ruben Amorim even more time, even if he loses to Sunderland this weekend. Knowing the fixtures that are coming up, Ruben won't be sacked. So we're going to have the same situations we had with Ten Hag, like we were talking about this morning, where we go through a full international break of everybody guessing if we go off onto international break on a bad result against Sunderland this weekend. Look, we might win, and then the talk just stops for a little bit, and we go into the international break and everyone can just be a little bit calmer again, looking at the table maybe around mid-table for Manchester United. Look, it's either way, you're always going to be concerned about where Manchester United are at. You're always going to be concerned with what's happening right now, the form of the team. No one's convinced by what players say. No one's going to be convinced by one performance against Sunderland. It's going to be 3 away games in the next 4 before the next international break, and that's the concerning part for most Man United fans. And the fact that our one game at home is Brighton, which we haven't won for the last 3 seasons, is even more concerning. So even if Ruben Amorim loses against Sunderland this weekend, the word is, for Manchester United, he is still safe and will not be sacked. Now, this, again, is going to wind up a lot of Manchester United fans. It's going to annoy United fans. It will be fans saying things like, why are we accepting this crap? Why are we accepting these standards? This is a man that's come out and said that we're not ready for Europe. It's the hardest league in the world. The pressure on the players is too much sometimes. Are we forgetting who we are? That's what fans will say. This is Manchester United. Yes, it is not good right now. In fact, it is desperation stakes for Manchester United right now. If we lose at weekend to Sunderland, then we are in big, big, big trouble. And it is not going to go down well at all. And the pressure will be absolutely immense. It'll be the hardest it's ever been at Manchester United if we are if we do lose this game. If we lose this game this weekend to Sunderland, then we well and truly are going to be right up against it. Just to go through exactly what was said from Laurie Whitwell, so you're clear on the actual quote. From speaking to people, even if Manchester United lost to Sunderland, I don't think that would be the end of Ruben Amorim. Sir Jim Ratcliffe is the ultimate decision maker on this, and he, I'm told, wants to actually give Amorim the full season. Quote unquote, Laurie Whitwell, from people he has spoken to at Manchester United on this situation. I'm going to get right into the comment section on this, early doors on this one, because this is a big talking point. Why would you? Why would you give him a full season when you know that it is going to be an absolute disaster financially for Manchester United? Look, has something happened? Has there been a meeting we don't know about? Maybe words have been exchanged. Maybe there is a change coming. I don't know. But it's just scary to think that even if we keep losing games, he's still going to continue. And this is going to carry on. It's like there's no thought at all for the fans in this whole process. It's like we're the ones that are watching the football. We're the ones that are paying for these players. We're the ones that are paying towards this crap that we're watching right now. And the only way it changes if he changes. And he said he's not going to change. And Sir Jim Ratcliffe backing that is going to wind the fan base up. So let's see what you're all saying in the comment section on this one then. And see if there is anybody that thinks this is the right way to go. I doubt it. I do. I don't think he gets sacked this weekend. Whatever the results, it will be the November break. That will be the one. I think a lot of people are guessing towards that so-called compensation payment for Ruben Amorim, and that being the bit that actually gets the final nail in the coffin as such for Ruben Amorim. That's the one that gets the decision made. I mean, have you not seen enough? That's the question that I would ask anyway. Have you not seen enough already? He's got some really tough games coming up. Oh, look, I hope it works for him. I hope he does turn it around. Gary says, of course he does. It's cheaper in Sir Jim Ratcliffe's head, while in reality it's going to cost a lot more if there's no European qualification. Look, he's not stupid, is he? Like, he knows that United need to be in Europe. He knows United need to be competing at the highest table in European football. And if they're not, then the whole business model fails. So I get it. I'm totally with that comment there. They play better away, less pressure on them. Are you being serious right now, Anthony? They play better away from home. We haven't won away from home in the Premier League since Leicester, mate. They're in the Championship. So, yeah. No, we don't play better away from home. We play better at home. We could be on the fringes here of our third win in a row at Old Trafford. So, yeah, I don't think we play better at home. I don't know if that one's a joke comment there or not, but Pablo says top half of the pitch lack discipline. They all shoot on sight, still not playing as a team. They all want the glory and must be how they're trained. I don't think you can train them that way. Surely Ruben's not doing that. That would be a recipe for disaster, wouldn't it? I will not accept another sacking until Luke Shaw, Maguire and Bruno leave the club. Then we'll be in the Championship. Then Radu, sorry mate, it's facts. Close the door on United if you want to see some action. We weren't going to make Europe anyway, so keep him. 3 players was never enough. 4 players, one that's just not played yet, which we're going to talk about in a minute. And we could have made Europe. We have to make Europe. If you're thinking we can't make Europe with this team, then really it is down to the manager and he needs to be sacked. It's as simple as that. This team is good enough to get into Europe. I don't care what anybody's saying. So that logic doesn't work in a way. Sunderland will outplay us. Liverpool will obviously. Brighton will absolutely smash us off the park. Nottingham Forest will also. We cannot beat anyone in this league with a one-man central midfield. A win against Sunderland can be the turning point. So Giaz says that's the turning point. Jin says it's doom and gloom already. Relegation, Ruben says Mako. I don't believe him. He's got to publicly back him, says Liam. See, this is all hearsay, and what Laurie Whitwell has said is just coming from people he's spoken to in and around Manchester United and the situation with Ruben. So this is him just saying, look, this is what the vibe is at the moment. This is where we're at with it. It doesn't necessarily mean that Manchester United are going to back Ruben Amorim. If we get beaten badly by Sunderland and it's another horrendous performance, there is nowhere to go. Like, if he gets battered by Sunderland, The writing is on the wall. It is well and truly on the wall. There's no way around it. Adam, this side cannot make Europe. We have no midfield. If we do have a midfield, we have more bodies to put in midfield if we change the shape. And yes, we can make Europe, mate. I'm not having it at all. Sounds to me, Adam, you're absolutely done with Amorim and want him sacked. No, I want him to change, Sean. I want him to change. If he's not going to change, sack him. I need someone who's going to be adaptable and actually deal with situations that are happening. If he wants the time, like he says, to change to his system, and he said this in the interview the other day, change comes slowly. He needs to start understanding what he's up against and stop making it easy for teams to beat him. He's not there paying to watch this crap. I understand it's his career, but the United fan base are the ones that are suffering right now. I want him to change. I want him to stay. I want him to be successful. And I would absolutely love it if he dropped certain players this weekend. He's not going to. He changed shape this weekend. He's not going to. And he actually went at this game in a completely different way, accepting that what he's done before was wrong. He's not going to. So it's really, how can you back somebody like that? I want to get right behind him, but the facts are destroying me right now. It's blind faith from me in Ruben right now, because United are falling and falling and falling. Gary says, apparently Cunha had some of the worst stats last season for tracking back, so it's not a surprise that any press we lose to puts us on the back foot defensively. Look, these are the players that United wanted. Ruben definitely wanted Cunha in the side. Look, if United score goals, then United are more competitive and we can compete in games. The worrying part is when we go behind, there's nothing left in us. There's nothing for us at all. So this is where my problem is with United right now. As I don't like this mentality of we've gone behind, as everyone feels sorry for us. We go again. Sorry fans, sorry Man United fan base, this is all happening again. I'm not having that. He needs to install some confidence in this side somehow. And his system is not doing it. So let's see a little bit more from Ruben, I think, at this point, because we know. Anyway, there is other news floating around, and apparently, according to Samuel Lucas, Sir Jim Ratcliffe flew to New York midweek, the logical meeting spot for Ratcliffe and the Tampa-based co-owner Joe Glazer to discuss a potential managerial change. This is guesswork again. There's no definite answer to Sir Jim Ratcliffe meeting Joe Glazer. There is nothing to say that they have met. Like Sir Jim was flying out to New York. He's found that information out. What would that be for? I have no idea. Sir Jim Ratcliffe has his fingers in many pies, and it could be some other business meeting. I have no idea if that means that he's meeting Joe Glazer. I think what you look at there in that comment, Sir Jim Ratcliffe flew to New York midweek, a logical meeting spot for Ratcliffe and the Tampa-based co-owner Joe Glazer to discuss a potential managerial change. It doesn't say anywhere in that they did go and meet. It just looks the logical meeting point. Like, they meet all over the world. Just because Sir Jim Ratcliffe's in America and he's in New York and you take an hour flight down to bleeding Florida, or 1 hour up to New York from Florida or something like that, that he's going there to meet Joe Glazer. He could have been doing anything in America. So that report is also doing the rounds today. Again, I would just look at that with what it is. I think it's somebody guessing that Sir Jim was in America and they're trying to put two and two together to make a story out of it. Well, all the pressure is mounting, because obviously Sir Jim Ratcliffe would have to get permission as well, and Joe Glazer would have to be on board with any major sacking decision with the power that he's got at the club. So people are just piling that into a story and making the headline, I think, more than anything with that one. So I'm not looking too much into what Luckhurst has said with that. I don't really believe in that, and I don't think that is anything to really be, not concerned about, but to look at with any definite. I would say that's probably the best way you could look at it. Now, there was talk before as well. Some people have been saying that Glasner has met with Manchester United representatives. I've been told again that is far of the mark. So you may see these reports going around online. There has been two different accounts, one being the Mirror, one being Indy, fighting. Well, not so much fighting with each other, but someone trying to get the up on the other regarding who came out with the news first. That Oliver Glasner has turned down a new contract at Crystal Palace. And again, Jacobs has said today, that he would go to Manchester United if asked, even mid-season. So that, I think, is, again, putting a few things together. Look, I could tell you this right now. I was reading stories about Glasner in the summer walking away from Crystal Palace. So nothing is set in stone. I don't know if there was meetings with Palace and Glasner this week. And he has said, no, this would be new meetings on top of what happened in the summer. And he said, no, he doesn't want a new contract. I got no idea. But these are the stories going around right now. And it's all to try and drive the speculation columns on the situation with Manchester United. Ruben's still manager of Manchester United. It's as simple as that. That's it. Nothing else matters right now. He's still manager. He'll be in the press conference tomorrow. We'll be covering that live here at lunchtime tomorrow. And he will be talking ahead of that game against Sunderland. What happens after that game depends on what happens in that game. It is going to be a hotbed, Old Trafford, of media activity if things go completely belly up at weekend. It will be horrible. And the atmosphere will be absolute toxic around Manchester United. So, yeah, them stories are all there. Glasner, yes, would go to United. Nothing is formal yet. So like I said before, being told informal talks are happening in-house at Manchester United, and we are preparing for the potential exits for Ruben. Nothing concrete and definite on it, though. All we're hearing at the moment is that Ruben stays. And that's the only 100% fact going into the weekend anyway. Everybody is trying to jump the gun after what might happen after the Sunderland game. I know it's Laurie Whitwell, I know it's The Athletic, and they're the ones reporting this, and you have to give them a little bit of rope here on this, because they are creditable and they are usually bang on the money with The Athletic with things. It is usually Ornstein that's the one that you would go to, but Whitwell is right on top of things and well respected in the journalist world. So if he says that people at United are saying Sir Jim wants him to stay, basically Sir Jim is hoping that Ruben Amorim wins this weekend, is how I see it. That's what I think. I think he's praying that he wins. He wants him to win simply because he wants to keep him. He likes him and thinks that he is the right man. The Man United players coming out, lo and behold, before the international break in a game at Old Trafford when they're in front of the home fans, are coming out and saying that they are right behind Ruben Amorim and they feel they can turn it around at Manchester United. I mean, seriously, like I said before again, like if you can turn it around now, you could have done that 10, 20 games ago last season when United were on their arses. And so there's a lot of players that are still there. I don't get it. Why could you not do this last season if you can do it now? Nothing has changed. In fact, United have got a little bit worse than they was last season at the moment. So, yeah, go out and win at Old Trafford. Go for it. Nobody's going to be convinced by it, and nobody's going to be thinking that this is the turning point for Manchester United. It will help take the pressure off for 2 weeks because it's international break, but you know what game's coming up after that break. And it's going to be exactly the same as what it was when we came back and played Man City 2. It's Liverpool. The only thing that will move anything in this international break or push towards Ruben leaving Manchester United is a bad defeat to Sunderland. I still think he needs a really bad defeat. My prediction was Brighton. That was my prediction. I think Brighton was the game when Ruben got the boot. Again, don't want him to. Want him to change. Want him to mix this up. And want him to get better and be Manchester United's manager going forward and be successful. I just don't see it from what I've seen so far. I keep saying that. People keep asking me, like, look, why are you so Ruben out and against Ruben now? Look, I'm against what he's doing. I'm not against him. I think he has got the credentials to win a game of football and win a few games of football and take United forward. But he has to learn how to be in the Premier League first to do it. And he's not willing to. He's stubbornly saying that what he thinks worked in Portugal will work in the Premier League. And you kind of have to laugh at that a little bit because that is just stupidity. It's not worked last season. It's not working this season. You're on the brink of being sacked. Change. Just change it, mate. That's all you've got to do. That is all you've got to do. I know it's not going to take us up to challenging for the Champions League, but it'll definitely keep you in a job because Manchester United, in a different shape, can compete. We know this. And if the players believe in him and they see the manager actually changing to help them a little bit going forward here, then they'll be all, well, you would hope they'd be all over that. But again, that's United. There's no guarantee in that either. But that's the only hope you have got. Like, to actually play a system that actually suits what we've got right now, even if it looks like you're giving in a little bit, that's the only way you survive. And it is now down to survival mode for both Man United and Ruben Amorim. So what are you going to do? Carry on doing the same thing that's got you where you are now, or try and change it a bit just to give yourself a little bit of time and space? Because time and space is a rare, rare thing when things are going this bad at Manchester United. And like what Lucas said there, and like what Adam Crafton and Carl Angus said as well, it's like the same thing. You just see the same things happening and the same words being spoken that we have seen before, and this inevitable system that comes into play with Manchester United and sacking managers. It's there for everybody to see. Let's get some more comments on this. Is there anyone who thinks that Ruben will get a bit more time and will turn it around at all? Like, I'm open to anybody being positive in the shows. Like, go for it, people. Please, get in there. Ruben is Margaret Thatcher. The lady is not for turning. Darren Fletcher looks tailor-made option that should be considered, says Paul Best. Why bother have foreign managers like Pep? I don't know what it's about. Someone talking to somebody else, I think, now with that one. Go out and win. Nobody will be convinced? Question mark. Can we stop this idea that we guaranteed the best? We are guaranteed to beat Sunderland. I can see us losing it. I'll be very happy if we win that. I want Ruben out for different reasons. Look, like I said before, Sunderland's a tough game. They are ahead of us by a mile in the league for a reason. Well, in places, not in points. But this is the chance that you've got at this stage of the season. You've got to win games just to get yourself in and amongst it. The longer we go with winning a game and losing a couple of games and then winning another one, the further we will inevitably drop. And we'll keep on dropping until we stick in and around the 15th, 16th mark in the Premier League. And everyone will be too far away for us to even mount a little bit of a run. This is the thing. I actually feel like the only thing saving Ruben Amorim at the moment is the fact that we aren't playing games midweek. Because can you imagine if we was in Europe right now and we weren't winning games there either? Look, we could be winning them, and that might give him a little bit of time and a bit of leeway. But still, when it's just Premier League games, and we know how bad we was in the Premier League last season, it is starting to mount up a bit now. The only respite he has is in between, because he doesn't have to go and speak to the media for the European games. And we're not watching this team try and play again. Can you imagine this team with 2 games a week right now? I don't know if it'd be a good thing or a bad thing, actually. Actually, I think going back, I've actually said that Manchester United need 2 games a week, because we just cannot cope with having this much of a break in between. It's like we completely switch off midweek in training and then come completely ill-prepared for the game the following weekend. DJ Dark Knight, sorry, he's gone off my screen now. I lost that comment. Sorry, mate. I'll come back again in a minute. Fergie was given 3 to 4 years. Arteta and Klopp 4 or 5 years. Pep 3 years. Things in this day and age everyone wants now, including me. But in the walk of business, it can take time. It's just time. That's a risky comment there, Sean. I've got to be honest, mate, because all of them managers weren't languishing down in relegation battles in them periods. Like, you know what I mean? Fergie, forget about Fergie in the 3 or 4 years. It's a different era. I'll give you the Arteta, Klopp and Pep. Big clubs, big jobs. But Pep came in and changed everything straight away. Let's not forget, Pep came into a side that was winning league titles. You know what I mean? Klopp came in and did a better job with Liverpool, but they were seeing signs quite quickly. Like, it took him a bit of time at first, and then you started to see a system develop with Klopp and an understanding. We're getting worse. That's the problem. We're getting worse. And when it comes to business, like you said, Sean, with that one as well, yeah, the business is going to suffer, because if United don't get European football, Ruben doesn't get any more reinforcements, which means we have to keep certain players that this fan base don't want to see at the football club, which will just keep us exactly where we are right now. Unless we get rid of them players and bring academy players in. But then you're putting all of that pressure onto them. United need to be in Europe. If we're not, then we are in trouble. We cannot accept another season down in the bottom half of the table. I don't understand why people think that this is actually okay at the moment. Not saying it out loud, but this is where we're going to be if we continue this way. Worst case, we could actually be relegated. And lo and behold, I am absolutely insanely happy we're committing to him. Very happy. I've still got some stones in me. Greg. Anyone else feel like they're trying to support Ruben, but it seems pointless? You literally just copied my tweet from the other day, Gregory, with that one there, mate. Word for word, near enough. It's like you seen my Twitter account and said that, because that's exactly what I said. It does, mate, doesn't it? It feels like you want to support him, you're trying to support him, but it is completely worthless in backing him in any way, because he keeps throwing it back in your face, mate, doesn't it? It is. That's how it seems right now, United fans. Even if you want to seem like you're doing the right thing, we don't want to keep sacking managers. We can't keep on this trend. Just bringing another manager in isn't going to change anything. You're still feeling in your head like you're just dropping, and Manchester United are not going anywhere. Graham says with a super chat, when did Sunderland last win at Old Trafford? Quiz. Thanks for the super chat, mate. I got no idea, Graham, to be honest. I cannot remember for the life of me. Been some close games, some tough games. I actually remember one in the FA Cup back in the 90s, actually. It was a 2-2 draw, and then we beat them in the replay. I think Nicky Butt scored the opening goal in that game. United actually had to come and equalise late on in it. That's the closest one I can think of off the top of my head. Mid-90s was a 2-2 draw in the FA Cup, and they weren't even in the Premier League. I think they'd come up from the Championship to play us. The managers that never had their clubs in relegation form. I think we're just copying what I was saying there before to that previous comments. Red Terry 28. Adam mate, there's no guarantee a manager change improves things. Could get worse. As painful as current results are, if you don't break the sack repeat cycle, it never changes. I disagree, mate. There's no harm in changing managers. There isn't. It's happened to Chelsea before. Look, if it is this bad, you cannot keep a manager. You can't. Manchester United cannot keep him if he keeps on losing. It's just ludicrous. It is. It's absolutely crazy to think that because you cannot break that cycle, you have to keep a man that's failing. Look, I've said it before. I don't want to repeat myself again. Ruben knows what he has to do. He knows what he has to do. He has to win games. And the only way he wins games is if he changes things up a little bit. Karen Matthews, Sunderland played very well against Forest and beat them at the City Ground. I have no hope for United to win on Saturday. Look, I actually do have hope for United to win. I think United win the game 1-0. And I'm taking that. I'm taking that just to stop the rot again. But that same fear will still be there when we come back from the break and we play Liverpool and then Brighton and then Forest and then Spurs. I have no hope. Because I think the same thing will happen again. If Ruben scrapes through a game with his system, he will believe his system is worth it going into the next away game and then losing it because he's playing a better side. Then going into the next game thinking it's home again, but the home games are becoming very, very difficult. Look at the home games we've had already. We haven't really played anyone that's had a history of causing us a problem. Arsenal on the opening day, it's a bit of a novelty. You never know what's going to happen. United played very well in that game, and he will keep sticking to that and hoping that that can happen again. Then you get Burnley, newly promoted. Then you've got Chelsea, who haven't won there for over a decade. Then you've got Sunderland, newly promoted. And then you start to creep into the worrying games. And that's why I always said Brighton will be the one, because that might be back-to-back defeats for Manchester United. And this season, United haven't had back-to-back defeats. Liverpool have. Just making a point. We haven't. So in all of this craziness, Man United haven't won back-to-back games, but we haven't lost back-to-back games. So that's why we're just about there at the moment. It's when you lose back-to-back games, that is when everything starts to pile on and the pressure becomes... It becomes so inevitable that you just have to make the decision. You know it's coming. Because United don't win away from home. And we've got 3 away games coming up after the international break. If we lose to Liverpool, which I expect United to do, you're probably not going to get sacked after that, because anyone can lose to Liverpool. Fair enough. if you get battered by Liverpool again, like we did back with Ten Hag in them days, 7 bleeding, oh God, I don't even want to say it, then that is it. But Liverpool and then Brighton, that's my prediction. And you know what? In all of that, I just want to say one thing. I pray he realises and turns it around. But that was our top story anyway for this evening. Laurie Whitwell saying that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is going to give him the time. Some people are happy about that. Look, everybody's saying that they want to keep Ruben Amorim just to stop the sacking managers every single season and that road to nowhere. Look, that's fine. That is totally fine. I get it. I do. But the thing is, like, the inevitable outcome of managers who keep on losing and failing is going to be sacked anyway. You are right, and nobody wants to disagree with you. They just see the ultimate reality, which is in front of them, which is you cannot keep losing. If you keep losing, you're going to get fired. That's it. Didn't Sunderland win the last time they were in the Premier League about 5 years ago? I honestly don't know. I can't remember that far back. Did they? Trying to think. It's a tough one, that. Graham will come back and tell you in a moment anyway. How you doing, Charles? Hope you're doing good, buddy. Klopp and Pep were constantly making progress. Andreas has upgraded membership. Thank you very much, Andreas. I love that, buddy. Loyal Tom and Billy Kulwitz. I do think we would pull it out of the bag with Liverpool. Being a Man United fan from Liverpool is a nightmare. Oh, sorry, mate. That must be very, very difficult. I don't want to keep Amorim. The man is an idiot. Okay, Gin's just bluntly putting it in the chat there with that one. Nathan says, it would be nice to know which of these signings that Ruben actually wanted. Is that part of the problem? Again, we will never know, Nathan, but it is a very, very important question. Who cares, really, how many managers are sacked until we find the right one? The wrong thing to do is keep a failing manager too long, says Carl. Get it? Totally get it. The last time Sunderland won at Manchester United, home ground Old Trafford, was on February 13th, 2016, during the 2015-16 Premier League season. Sunderland secured a 2-1 victory in that match. There you go. Someone's got that right off of Google. Well done, United. Focus on that one. Right, we need to get into all of the other news. Apparently, Bruno Fernandes is not happy again. That story's come out about Bruno Fernandes not being happy with the number 6 position at Manchester United. Well, it was good enough for him. Like, listen to this. Manchester United's Player of the Month for September is Bruno Fernandes, the man that, from what my chat says, nobody wants in their midfield. Again, that is a great September. And Manchester United's goal of the month, Benjamin Sesko against Brentford. Slim pickings, and that's all I'll say. When you think about it, what have you got? Casemiro's goal against Chelsea isn't going to cut it. I'd have thought Bruno Fernandes' goal against Chelsea was probably the one. But seeing as though that and Sesko goal were the only goals we scored in the month of September, I think I'm right in saying that, aren't I? Yet they are the only ones we have scored in September. That alone tells you how bad Manchester United have actually been. That we've only scored them, 3 goals? That's all we've scored? Yep, 3 goals in September. Jesus. That is desperation, isn't it? I'd have kiboshed the whole Player of the Month and Goal of the Month for September if I were Man United. That's embarrassing to actually put them up as the Goal of the Month and the actual Player of the Month. Bruno Fernandes, he's not happy about playing in the number 6, by the way. That story is, again, done the rounds, like I said a moment ago. But the fact that he got Player of the Month as well there, wow, we are clutching at straws big time with that one, aren't we? Jesus, wept. Everyone else is playing in Europe and actually competing for major trophies. And Man United are celebrating Bruno Fernandes, who doesn't want to be in at number 6, getting a player of the month in number 6 for Manchester United. Sunderland last won at Old Trafford was 1946. Okay, looks like Graham's going to have that debate with somebody else there, because someone said it was a lot sooner than that. A new manager can do better. Let's sack Moyes, LVG, Mourinho, Oli, Ten Hag. Can't make things worse, question mark. Yet we sacked Eric Ten Hag for Amorim. Contradictory. Sorry. Again, was anyone as bad as Ruben Amorim right now, though? And that's what we're saying. This is a man who is off the scale 20 times worse than every other name that you just mentioned. This is the reason we're talking about it. We don't want to sack him. This is the difference. Most of the fan base were ready for sacking all of their managers. It had got to a desperate point, but they were still competitive. We're not competitive. And we are horrendous to watch. Look, you can say what you want about the past and sacking managers one after another. It's not right. It's not good. Nobody wants that. But the only reason we're doing that is because we're crap. And so if we are crap, we have to sack managers. The only reason the other teams have kept managers for so long, have a guess. Success, consistency, and progress. Have any of them managers actually given us progress season after season? Ten Hag, Champions League, trophy. Great start. Second season, FA Cup. Not so great. Still got us in Europe though. Third season, completely fell off and was right down the bottom half of the Europa League table. Had to be sacked. It just looked like it was going completely away from him. It's the same process with every single man. The only one who probably was unfairly sacked at the time, because some people would argue that Jose Mourinho wasn't backed and shouldn't have been sacked either, is probably LVG. Some would say Moyes, because he wasn't given any transfers like the other managers were. So again, that's up for debate, and we can argue that all day long. Ruben is the worst manager post World War II. That's why he's being talked about. If he'd have been doing the same thing that them other managers, even if he was where Ten Hag was, he'd won a few games. We were actually in Europe, and you'd be able to argue the point. But he gave up the Premier League season to play in the Europa League, lost that final, and then has started this season shockingly. So that's why we're talking about Ruben Amorim. No other reason. It's as painful watching other sides doing what we used to do as it is watching our demise these days. Amorim turning it around by changing. Doubtful, says Gregory. Thank you for the renewed membership as well there, Gregory. Cheers for the super chats, everybody, as well. And on that one also, get some more comments coming in, everybody, as well. Big piece as well, and big shout for Senna Lamens again to start this weekend. That would be something I would hopefully see this weekend, and I really do hope that he puts him in goal. I do. Andy Mitten has come out and said in this same podcast that Laurie Whitwell was talking in that Senna Lamens, when he is up to speed, will be Manchester United's number one. And I'm just looking at it and I'm going, up to speed with what? He comes in and he's good, and then he needs to get shit, and then we'll put him in. There's nothing to catch up with. You're bringing players in that are better than what we've got. What are they catching up with? Because it's not like this team that he's supposedly catching up with is doing anything on the pitch, is it? Again, like, why do other clubs bring players in and put them straight in? Well, they bought that player because they needed that player. We buy players and just wait to bring them through and start them. It's like I was doing before. I was doing a video before on Football Talks about Liverpool fans moaning about Florian Wirtz being the worst transfer of all time in the Premier League. I'm using the comparison here of people wanting these players to be a massive success instantly. It doesn't happen, especially at the top level anyway. But you look at Benjamin Sesko, and I was using him as an example. People are saying he's had a really slow start to Manchester United. He's not really he's not really started well. Well, he's not started. He's had 2 starts in the Premier League. And one of them starts, he got a flick on, which won us the game against Chelsea with that red card. And the other game, he's got his goal of the month, even though it wasn't a great goal. That's it. 2 starts, 2 major pieces of, 2 major pieces of play. I think that needs to be looked at, I think, for Benjamin Sesko, and a bit of credit to him. But this thing about waiting for players and just bedding them in, I don't think it's helping them at all. Confidence. Where is Senna Laman's confidence right now? You go from first team, being bought by Manchester United when you could have been playing first team for perhaps maybe Aston Villa or another European club because he was wanted by a few, to sitting on the bench watching Altay Bayındır flap around at everything, conceding 7 goals in 3 games, and Man United picking up 3 points from 9 since Lamans was signed. And he's thinking, okay, I'll just take a month off and train. Like, he's had a month off. He's not featured at all in a month of football for Manchester United. It's like, what could have happened in that month? Could he have done better in any of them games? You can pinpoint certain moments and try and clutch at straws to say yes or even no. But still, like, he might have organised his defence a bit better. Get him in there. You bought him for a reason. You get him in that side. I don't get that at all. And it is still going to baffle me forever and a day. Graham was wrong. He said he's admitted he's wrong with the super chats. Seb Larson, 2014, Giggs in charge. I remember the game. I do remember the game. Giggs' 4 games to finish the season. I think what was it? Did he win 2, lost 1, and drew 1? I think that's what happened. Manchester United's real problems, the Glazers and mentality. The truth is, Manchester United's problems go deeper than the coach. The Glazers brought a curse into this club. And we are going deep there, matey. Asaf saying that it is the curse. I'm dying for a good-looking football and trophies and not opposed to a change to get there. Bit flip-flop, I know. Understand that we can't keep going on like this, says Sean Cox. It's not flip-flopping, mate. You're just a football fan who wants to see your team playing decent football, like you said. Nobody is wrong if they were backing Ruben and then changed their mind. Not one fan. I say this all of the time. Don't think that you're wrong because other people call you out on it. You're not. All you want is your team to be playing decent football and you want to go and enjoy watching your team again. I don't think there's any Man United fan, and this is the one thing and the one comment I think that every single Manchester United fan will agree on, because there's a lot that are debating and a lot that are disagreeing with each other at the moment because we're in chaos and that always happens. But the one thing everybody can agree on is nobody is enjoying the brand of football that this team is playing right now. Not one Manchester United fan have come out and said that this is really positive and I can see a future for Manchester United playing this way. Because we don't really have a style of play. That's the thing. You're hoping that something develops, but there's that word again. It's the hope factor, isn't it? Goldstone Ghost says, how in the world has this happened? An ever-increasing spiral that has a certain inevitability. Yeah, I know. There is a manager out there that will work for Manchester United. I'm sure of it. There has to be someone. And we may have had to go around the houses to try and find him, but he is there. There is someone that works for Manchester United. There will be. I don't know who it is yet. I can't answer you on that. Gems in there. Also, don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget, everybody, as well, March Bingo for this weekend against Sunderland are running our 200% bonus booster. So if you deposit in and put promo code FUTV in that promo code section on Match Bingo, you will be boosted by 200% right now. All you got to do is scan the QR code or hit the link in the description or the live chat and download the app. Deposit as little as £5 into your account and get that 200% deposit boost right now, everybody. We've got it for the whole month of October and we are all doing it for this weekend. We're having a Sunderland Matchday special watch along here on Saturday. And we have got extra content on that watch-along this weekend, everybody, as well. Speaking of watch-alongs, don't forget, in the description is the link to join me at the pub for the Spurs watch-along. We are doing the watch-along on the road. We're watching the game from the pub, having a few pints, a few people in there. A lot of bought tickets already. Grab yours now. That is in the description, everybody. You'll see it right there at the top link in the description. Get your pub tickets now. We are preparing ourselves for the worst, because that's around the time when things could really hit the fan. The proverbial could well and truly be in and being splattered everywhere by that point. Oh, wrong, that wasn't it? Sorry. I can't see Ruben putting in lemons while we are in this rut. I think he will have a long wait to get in. I can't see us getting more than 7 points in the next 7 games. What is the point in buying him? That's all I'll keep saying. I'm not saying you're wrong, United Focus. There's a good part that's probably right there, mate. So there's a good part of that comment that is right there, maybe. But again, why? Why? He's a player. He's a better goalkeeper. Why just not putting him in? I'm telling you right now, a goalkeeper going in with a different look on things changes Manchester United's defence instantly. It changes it instantly. I'm telling you right now, there is nothing to lose. Get him in the side. Put Lamens in. Stop messing around with him. Honestly, it's doing him worse putting him on the bench right now. Jal says he's got a rule. All managers deserve a transfer window and a season. Ruben got the transfer window and now he will get the season also. Kind of already had a season though, altogether. Should have done better in what he had last season. Should have won the Europa League and should be doing a lot better now. If we give him the full season now, I predict Manchester United, guaranteed, will definitely not be in Europe, which is a sacking, and could even be fighting relegation, which is a disaster. So sometimes somebody in big power play positions at the football club have to make a certain decision. When the going gets tough, you need people who are not scared to make them calls. And that, I think, is what everybody's waiting for now. Is there anyone in there that's going to who's going to give their man the sack? Because Ruben is loved by Ineos and everyone employed by them. So, again, yeah, they might like him. But the club at the moment and the players, the staff, from the stories we have been told, there are problems there. There are problems there. And we can ignore them and hope all we want. But, look, one thing that will always ring true, facts. That's it. And the facts tell you that Manchester United are the worst we've ever been in the Premier League era. That's hard to get away from. And the facts will always outweigh the sentimental argument from anybody and that hope argument that everybody's got. It's always there. Can I ask why our last 5 forwards are in a graveyard shift? It's because we don't create real chances. Look at Kevin De Bruyne last night, feeding Højlund with real chances. Bruno's chance creation is mindless, but he does create chances, mate. So, again, like Kevin De Bruyne was right there with Bruno Fernandes in the Premier League for creating the best and clear-cut chances well, they've both been playing in the Prem. So, are we just making up the stats again, like I said the other day? Are these stats not real? Are they soft stats, where an assist could be someone laying off an indirect free kick and someone smacking it in? Is that an assist these days? Is that creating a chance? This is why I don't listen to stats. This is why I don't care for stats. The only stats I care for are goals conceded, and points. That's it. That's all I care for. Look, I can see certain style of play, and I can see it's very pretty. I thought Liverpool were decent against Galatasaray the other night. I thought that was quite pretty, but they're not creating chances. They're not creating enough, and they're losing at the moment. It was the same against Crystal Palace, dominated the ball. That's good. And you can see little bits of progress in that, and eventually that will start to take over if you have got good forwards in there. But United just don't dominate games. United don't take control of games, and United definitely don't outscore teams ever. Like, the most comfortable victory Man United have ever had under Ruben Amorim in the league was that game we won against Leicester away from home. That was it. I think we won 3-0, didn't we, in that game? That's the most comfortable we've ever been in a football game. And that team is now competing in the Championship, like I said. It just gets scarier and scarier and scarier. Sesko can actually hold up the ball. The guy has got an excellent touch. We are not using him properly, Adam. Charles, honestly, I like Sesko. I really do like Sesko. I think he's got something in him that other strikers don't. He does hold the ball up well. He's awkward. He's fantastic in the air. And he has got an absolute bullet of a shot. If we get it right, then we are going to be hard to beat. Do you know what? Here's one for you. I looked at Cunha the other day against Brentford again. Watched some more of it back. I don't think he's playing well enough, to be honest. He's dropped off. They forced him back too quickly. I still don't think he's there. Drop Cunha out for Mount this weekend. If you're going to insist with this 3-4-3, then try change it up. Put Cunha on the bench. Put Bruno on the bench. Play Mason Mount. Play Casemiro and Manuel Ugarte in the middle. Mount and Bumo and Sesko. There, I've said it. And bring Cunha on. If you want energy, if you want pressing, like somebody said, like the tracking back stats for Cunha are not there. Right now, if you want to put a full workload in there and you want workers in there, and you could say that Bruno is a worker, but in that position, like many people have said, in this formation, you need people that are going to create chances and be sensible and very, very efficient with the ball. I think Kobe probably will be a bit better in that. I'm not saying he's better than Bruno, but if you want to just grind the result out, why don't you change it around? Why don't you show Cunha that you don't get into a Man United side just by turning up and being good at Wolves? Like I didn't rate him against Brentford. I didn't rate him when he came on the other day against Chelsea either. I still think he isn't fit enough yet. I would play Mason Mount and maybe swap him around with Cunha. Take Cunha and Bruno out the side. Stop playing your big names. Play a team that's actually going to work together. Take a chance. Do something different if you're going to stick to this crap formation. Cunha is still injured. Agreed, Adam. I like your front line and Bumo and Mount run off each other. Look, there's no harm in playing Mason Mount for one of Bruno and Cunha this weekend. But he hasn't got the balls to do it. And that's what I'll say that right now. Take Cunha out the firing line. Let him ease his way back in, just like Mount is having to do. Even if you have to play half and half with them both. Show them that they're fighting each other for this place. They're not guaranteed spots in that team. Cunha got off to a flyer, but he's been poor since he's come back. Very poor so far, I feel. And again, you need to let these players know that it isn't a foregone conclusion that they're just going to walk into this side. That's what Bruno thinks. If the first game you drop Bruno, see how he reacts. If he is the model pro, and he is Mr. Captain, and he is Mr. Manchester United, you will see a reaction from Bruno. We've never seen it before because he's never been dropped. Let's just try it. That's all I say. Try it. Take some of the big guns out, because I guarantee you the players coming in to replace them will look at that and go, all right, I can get on board with this. I've been given the chance, and if they fail, there you go. You got your chance. Take it. That's what I would do. I would just try and add a little bit of energy into that side. And Mount brings it us. And do you know what? In a way, even if he didn't want to play Kobe Mainoo, if you want to have that extra security blanket, maybe play Casemiro and Ugarte. Look, I don't want to play Ugarte at all. No, in fact, take that out of it. I'm being stupid with that there. I'm just trying to think of any way of United winning a game right now, because I really don't want to see Ruben go. I like the guy. I do. I think what he's done off the pitch is brilliant, but on the pitch, I cannot stand this football. It's so bad. But yeah, I think he still will bury himself because of it. And that's that. Right, okay. Oh, wow. 53. Sorry, everyone. Went right on with that there. Okay. Make sure that you do get your likes in on the video, please, everybody. Get your comments in below also after the show is finished. I got through as many comments as I could there. Again, I'll try and get to some in the comment section as well later on, everybody. That's it for tonight on the content. Go and check out our other channel, Football Talks, as well. A piece there on Florian Wirtz and Liverpool fans doing a nut right now. Oh, God, I'd have anything. Sorry, I'd give anything to be a Liverpool fan right now in the team that they've got. But even they're not happy right now. Go check that video out as well. That is also up on the other channel. and is linked into the live chat, everybody. That is it. Don't forget to hit your Match Bingo QR code and links in the description. Also, all of your kits and OK jerseys as well, like we were saying this morning. Make sure that you go grab your tickets for the pub watch along for the Spurs game on the 8th of November also. And that is our show finished this evening, everybody. Thank you for all of your commitment and contributions throughout the day. I will see you all first thing in the morning. Don't forget press conference day tomorrow. Very interesting one coming up. It's going to be a doozy, I think. So morning content. Then we're going to have the press conference live midday, everybody.